Welcome. Good morning. This time is your time. And what I mean by that is you don't have to think about work or clients or family or what the plan is for dinner. If you do notice that your mind starts thinking about those things, you're welcome to bring it back to focusing on yourself. Today's practice can be from a seated position in a chair, with the understanding that you can also stand or lie down. You can always change at any time, depending on what your energy levels are or how you're feeling today. You're never required to move in a specific way or to make specific shapes. It's really just more time for you to connect your mind, to go inward, connect with your body, and to figure out what you need and maybe what you want. So one way that you might begin would be to notice how it feels to arrive here in this moment in your body. You could, if you'd like, do a body scan, scanning and perhaps noticing the different muscle groups, perhaps those in the forehead or the muscles around your ears, maybe around your eyes. And you might notice those of the jaw, the neck, shoulders. If you'd like, you can also notice your own breath. You might notice the feeling of the air as it enters or exits the body, or perhaps there's a feeling of expansion in some place. Could be an expansion in the front body or the side body. And you might also feel nothing. Whatever your experience is, whatever you feel is welcome. It's good information for you. There's no requirement to judge whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, this is better or worse. It's really just whatever you're feeling today is just good information for you to then decide what you need and what maybe could feel support for you throughout your day. If you'd like, you can choose an intention. This can be an intention for the practice, perhaps a concept or a word, something for guidance, something of support, self-love, falling in love with yourself, gratitude, amongst other, anything that's on your heart or on your mind. So you're welcome to think about an intention if you'd like, perhaps for the count of 2 or 2 breaths. Maybe one more. You're always welcome to practice without movement. You can watch, lie down, close your eyes. And if you would like to add movement, you might begin with perhaps some movement of the neck or a stretch. The speed that you go is up to you. You can have it sync with your breath, perhaps on the breath in and breath out, sync one movement per breath, or you can also find places of continuous movement, move in other speeds, or also pause, finding a place of pause, How you move is always your choice, and it really just depends on what you feel. Maybe you'll notice where sensations show up for you as you're moving. Perhaps you'll feel sensations in your neck or other areas, perhaps in the back body. So whatever type of movement, maybe doing this for 5 counts or 5 breaths. Maybe 4 more. Perhaps 3 more. Maybe 2 more. And if you'd like, 1 more. Then, if you'd like, you can move your shoulders. And this might look like shoulder circles. They could be moving together or moving from one side at a time to the other. The speed can be slow or fast, as I'm showing here. Or you can also pause and stretch. There are many different ways for movement, and you are welcome to choose what feels like right or would be of benefit to you. And you're also welcome to change at any time. So maybe again, doing this for the count of 5 or 5 breaths. And you might notice if sensations arise. You might notice if thoughts arise. You're always welcome to come back to those sensations, noticing what you're feeling in your body, and perhaps seeing if maybe your thoughts take over, looking at them, telling them you'll address them later, and bringing yourself back to yourself, if that's something you want to do. So again, maybe for 5 breaths or to the count of 5. Maybe 4 more. Perhaps 3 more. Maybe 2. And if you'd like, maybe 1 more. Another possible way to engage in movement could be the number 4 stretch. You might cross one leg over the other. You can sit in this shape if you'd like, perhaps noticing sensation maybe on the outside of the leg. You're also welcome to roll your ankle in circles, perhaps noticing the sensation in your foot or in your ankle. Another option would be to move your front top body forward, perhaps engaging in a twist from side to side. All of these are just options, and all are allowed, and really with the aim of just checking in, connecting, and feeling into it. Maybe doing this for the count of 4, 4 counts or 4 breaths on this side, and then perhaps moving to the other side. So for 4, maybe. Perhaps 3 more. Maybe 2 more. And if you'd like, maybe 1 more. If you want, you can also switch sides. Perhaps noticing if there is a difference between sides. So maybe for the count of 4 or 4 breaths. Perhaps 3 more. If you want, maybe 2 more. And if you'd like, 1 more. Okay. Another potential movement could be movement of your spine, a spine stretch. And this might look like C shapes or C curves, perhaps moving between the 2 C shapes. And you're invited to practice if you'd like to focus on one area. For this, maybe you're focusing on your shoulders, the rounding and the expansion. Or you could also raise your chin towards the ceiling, as well as dropping your chin in towards your front body. Another option is perhaps noticing if there are any sensations in your feet, if your feet are on the floor. Perhaps part of your focus is on your feet, maybe to spread your toes and to apply pressure into the ground, or perhaps lift your toes. Really some awareness and connecting into your feet perhaps. Or you might also notice your lower front body, perhaps what happens there. Perhaps you'd like to release any muscles or tension that are there, or you'd like to hug them in. And just noticing as you move, or noticing if there's a difference between how perhaps that release or that hugging in feels. Again, maybe doing this for 4 counts and 4 breaths per side, perhaps taking a break. Actually, I'm going to say maybe 6 per side. Because this one feels a little fast to me, so I'm going to count 6 breaths or 6 counts per side. And whatever type of movement or shape you'd like to engage in, you're welcome to sit as well. You can stand. Another option for movement is if you are on the floor, perhaps you can engage in the C curve in this way. And if that's your body feeling like it wants to get up and out of the chair, you're welcome to do that movement on the floor as well. So perhaps for the count of 6 or 6 breaths. Your arms can also be on your knees. They can move forward. You can pull them back or push them forward. They can also move, opening and closing in different ways as you move. really any of these ways, whatever works for you. Maybe for the count of 6 or 6 breaths. Maybe 5 more. Perhaps 4 more. Maybe 3 more. Perhaps 2 more. If you'd like, maybe 1 more. Next, if you'd like, you can do a forward fold. This could be where your head and shoulders and neck round forward and you hang loosely, or perhaps you hold your elbows. You're welcome to stand as well, also using the chair perhaps for support. Whatever way you'd like to do, I'll offer this for 5 counts or 5 breaths, with the understanding that if at any time you're feeling dizzy, or if at any time you'd like to round back up, please honor what your body wants to do and what it needs to do. 5 is not a magic number, and so please use your body as your teacher. So when and if your body feels ready, feel free to roll up. So maybe for the count of 5, and also perhaps noticing what perhaps needs to be released, or if there are parts of your body, that are supporting you. What does it feel like in your feet as they're supporting you, perhaps in the back of your legs? So perhaps for the count of 5. Maybe 4 more. Perhaps 3 more. Maybe 2 more. And if you'd like, maybe 1 more. Another possible movement could be using the muscles of your center front body, and perhaps raising a knee, raising a leg, and then pushing outward and returning back to the floor, and then switching sides if you'd like. You can sync your movement with your breath, perhaps lifting up your knee as you breathe in, pushing out as you breathe out, or vice versa. And maybe just noticing where you might feel this. It might be in the front upper portion of your leg, maybe noticing the effort. Perhaps your breath changes. Maybe the speed of your breath changes. It gets faster. Again, this is an opportunity to notice what you feel. And you're always welcome to choose a different movement and a different place to practice. Perhaps you'd rather be on the floor or standing. And with your arms, perhaps they're just at your sides or hanging at your sides, or perhaps you sync an opposite arm with an opposite leg, raising and lowering, or having the other arm out in front of you, moving together or separately. This is just one option. If you would like to explore opposite movements, moving opposite sides. So however you'd like to move, perhaps doing this for, again, the count of 6 or 6 breaths. Maybe 5 more. Perhaps 4 more. Perhaps 3 more. Maybe 2. And if you'd like, maybe 1 more. One more way to move is perhaps to engage in a twist. If you'd like, you can twist, then pause on one side, perhaps noticing where you're feeling, what your breath feels like as you're in this shape, and where does your breath go when your body twists in this way. Another option could be continuous movement, perhaps syncing your breath with the movement, moving your arms, lifting and lowering as you're twisting from side to side. You're welcome to do both. This is an opportunity for you to notice what it feels like, what sensations arise for you. Also, possibly what thoughts are arising and showing up for you. So maybe perhaps I will do 3 breaths per side. Yeah, I'll try that. And you're welcome to move or pause however you'd like. So perhaps to the count of 3 or 3 breaths. Maybe 2 more. And if you'd like, maybe 1 more. And perhaps, again for the count of 3 or 3 breaths, if you'd like, on the other side. Perhaps 2 more. one more. So now the last 3 minutes of our practice, we always reserve for rest. This might be the last 3 minutes of your day where you can really only think about yourself and connecting in and just being there and breathing, not having to think about anything. Sometimes this is the most challenging part of this practice, is to allow yourself to rest in the middle of the day. So we can rest and then come back and close out the practice together at 10:44. You are welcome to rest in whatever that feels right for you right now. You're welcome again to take one last moment with your intention, perhaps noticing your breath, noticing what it feels like to be here in your body in this moment. I want to thank you all so much for coming, for taking your time, for your trust, and having this opportunity to practice together. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again.